The front door creaked open at exactly 7:43 p.m., the same time it always did, and Ethan froze with his keys still in his hand. The lights in his small apartment were on, every single one of them. The air smelled faintly of lemon cleaner, a scent that didn't belong to his life of reheated dinners and rushed mornings. His heart dropped when he heard the soft hum of a vacuum cleaner from the hallway. For one terrifying second, he thought someone had broken in. Then the vacuum stopped, and a woman stood up slowly from behind the couch. She was wearing simple clothes, her sleeves rolled up, hair tied back, hands in rubber gloves. But Ethan recognized her instantly. Everyone in the city did. The CEO of the largest company he worked for was standing in his living room, holding a cleaning cloth. And when their eyes met, she looked like she was the one afraid of him. Just an hour earlier, Ethan had been worrying about how to stretch a single paycheck to cover rent, daycare, and groceries. Being a single dad wasn't a story of heroism for him. It was a daily fight against exhaustion. His 5-year-old son, Noah, was at a neighbor's apartment for dinner, and Ethan had stayed late at work to finish a report he wasn't even sure anyone would read. He was invisible at the office, another tired employee with dark circles under his eyes and a phone full of school reminders. The CEO, Amelia Grant, was a distant figure who existed only on screens and company emails, someone untouchable, powerful, and far removed from the struggles of people like him. And yet here she was, standing in his worn-out apartment with a mop leaning against the wall and his laundry neatly folded on the couch. Ethan's voice cracked when he finally spoke, asking the only question that made sense. "Why are you here?" Amelia swallowed hard. Her confident posture, the one that commanded boardrooms and silenced executives, was gone. She looked smaller, human, almost fragile. She glanced around the apartment, at the peeling paint, the stack of unpaid bills on the table, the small shoes by the door. "I know this looks wrong," she said quietly. "But please, let me explain before you ask me to leave." Ethan wanted to be angry, to demand answers, but something in her eyes stopped him. It wasn't arrogance. It was guilt. She told him she had been watching him for months, not as a CEO monitoring an employee, but as a woman haunted by a debt she didn't know how to repay. She remembered him from years ago, long before the company, before the fame. He didn't remember her, and that hurt more than she expected. She had been a scared young woman back then, pregnant and homeless after a series of bad choices and worse people. One rainy night, she had collapsed outside a small diner, dizzy and terrified. Ethan had been there, newly married, working a second job. He had given her his coat, paid for her meal, and sat with her until help arrived, missing his own bus home. "You told me," Amelia whispered, tears forming. "Your life isn't over just because today is hard." Ethan stared at her, memories stirring faintly, but still unsure. She explained that the help she received that night led to another chance, shelter, education, and eventually a career that grew beyond anything she imagined. She lost the baby soon after, a pain that never truly healed, but she carried that one moment of kindness like a compass through every success. Years later, when she reviewed employee files, Ethan's name stopped her cold. She recognized it instantly. She saw his overtime hours, his low salary, the notes about flexible schedules for childcare. She knew he was struggling, just as she once had. "I didn't know how to face you," she said. "So I started with the only thing I could do without words: help." Ethan's chest tightened as the truth settled in. He thought of all the nights he'd come home too tired to clean, too broken to care. The anger drained away, replaced by something heavier. He sank onto the couch, his eyes burning. "You didn't have to do this," he said. Amelia knelt in front of him, ignoring the power difference that defined their public lives. "I wanted to," she replied, "because you saved me when you didn't have to. And because I see you now, how hard you're fighting." The sound of a small voice interrupted them. Noah stood in the doorway, rubbing his eyes, confused. Amelia smiled gently at him, and in that moment, something shifted inside Ethan. The night didn't end with answers, but with questions that would change both of their lives forever. Morning light crept through the curtains, and Ethan woke up unsure if the night before had been a dream. Then he heard laughter, Noah's laugh, coming from the kitchen. His heart jumped. He rushed out to find Amelia sitting at the table with his son, helping him pour cereal, listening intently as Noah talked about dinosaurs. For a moment, Ethan felt like an intruder in his own home. The CEO looked up and smiled, not the polished smile from company events, but a warm, genuine one. "Good morning," she said softly. I hope you don't mind. I just wanted to help him get ready. Over breakfast, they talked, really talked. Amelia admitted she had spent years believing success would erase her past pain, only to realize it didn't. Power couldn't heal loneliness. Money couldn't replace the child she lost. Watching Ethan with Noah stirred emotions she had buried deep. She wasn't there to pity him or to play savior. She was there because she needed to honor the kindness that shaped her life. Ethan confessed how close he was to quitting his job, how he felt like he was failing his son despite trying his best. He admitted the shame of accepting help, the fear of being seen as weak. Amelia listened without interrupting. Then she offered him something that wasn't charity, but opportunity. A new role within the company, better pay, flexible hours. Earned, not given. I don't want to rescue you, she said firmly. I want to stand beside you. Ethan hesitated, pride and fear battling inside him. But when he looked at Noah, he understood. Strength wasn't refusing help. It was accepting it when it came with respect. Weeks passed, and life slowly changed. Ethan grew into his new role, discovering confidence he didn't know he had. Amelia visited often, not as a CEO, but as a friend. The apartment felt lighter, warmer. One evening, as Ethan tucked Noah into bed, his son asked an innocent question, "Is Amelia family?" Ethan paused, then smiled. "She's someone who reminds us that good things can come back to you," he said. Later that night, Ethan found Amelia on the balcony, staring at the city lights. He thanked her, not just for the job or the help, but for reminding him that his small acts mattered. Amelia's eyes filled with tears. "They always did," she said. "You just never saw it." In that quiet moment, both of them understood the truth. Kindness doesn't disappear. It waits, it grows, and one day, it comes back in ways you never expect. And sometimes, the greatest success isn't reaching the top, but remembering who you were when you had nothing and choosing to lift others as you rise.